Welcome to That Didn't work.
That didn't work. Welcome to Urban Stars. I'm your GM and your host, Percy.
And I'm Mike, and I'm playing a Nemoidian by the name of Udel Ilvi.
I'm Daniel. I'm playing a human by the name of Caltane.
Howdy, I'm Rick, and I'll be playing a Verpine named Kuklik.
And I'm Jason, playing a human named Luica, also known as Zerial Benassi Dinduptaniel.
You would do well to come with me quietly, Luica. Or should I say Zerial?
Callus, you know I don't like you using that name.
I don't like a great many things, like finding out that my father's enemies are still alive.
Well, your father hasn't told you a great many things, and he's missed me twice, but his bad blood and my bad blood pale in comparison to yours and his.
Well, I can tell you two things right now. One, whatever bad blood my father and I had ceased when I joined the Navy. Two, he won't miss again. And he starts to drag you, he starts to pull you out of the casino.
And I kind of pause him after a second before we get to the door. I'm just like, well, it wouldn't look great to cause another scene because I did come here with someone else, and he did give me money, so if you would allow me, I'd like to at least hand back over the credit so that way there's less inclined to be a fight, because we both don't want that here.
Do you mean that Duro by the bar?
Yes.
He won plenty of money tonight, but if you really want to leave it for him, hand it to me.
I hand over 500 credits.
All right, and he looks behind him and tries to make eye contact with you, Udel, who, what did you say her name was? Rick? Roderick? Richard? Rodney.
Was Rodney?
I think it was.
I think it was Rodney.
Rodney. Yeah, Rodney.
So he turns toward you and kind of eyes you up and down as if to like kind of assess you, and then you see him open a fistful of credits and drop it on the ground.
So I'm going to make the sign to him, like, just take it and get away. I'll be fine.
Okay.
Just to,
Cool.
like, I'm okay. You get out of here. Kind of like, don't worry about it.
Yeah, that'll work. Make a stealth roll with one purple and one red.
While he's doing that, can I give him a boost by getting up and starting to make my way over there going, hey, where are you going, my filly?
Kind of adding a little more distraction
Yeah.
to it. Yeah. Take an extra boost for Udel, kind of providing that help.
Cool. And I'm going to flip one.
Okay.
So, here we go. Oh, jeez. Triumph, Despair.
No.
3 success and 2 advantage.
Triumph, Despair.
That's a great roll.
3 success, 2 advantage.
Yeah.
Yowza. All right, what is you succeed? He sees the sign.
Your right foot in.
So
what is your triumph?
that I'm going to save for later. I'd like to do the 2 advantage now.
Okay.
And that if I can narrate it this way, just let me know, stop me if I can't, is that the people who do see me making the sign are too far across the bar to really make any sort of immediate action.
I mean, you didn't fail. You succeeded in the stealth roll. You made the sign. You succeeded in making the sign in a way that nobody saw.
You had said that
if a despair could be a stormtrooper coming in, but because you succeeded, that's not going to be the case.
Okay, that's fine. I just I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I didn't want to outwit the despair, but I did want it to be like, at least let the advantage be where they're across the bar.
Yeah, they may see you, but they're no. The despair will be something different.
That's fine. I was trying to think of a good practical use for that. So I will start with the triumph then.
Okay.
The triumph is that when Callus drops it, the bag opens, and because it's loose credits, there's kind of a bit of a mad rush. Like, people just see credits hitting the floor. It's a crowded bar. The bag kind of just splits open, and they go everywhere, and kind of creates a bit of a scrum, if you will.
Okay. So what is your goal kind of mechanically with that? Like, I like the scene, I like the way it's playing out, but like, what are you hoping to achieve?
Because Callus has left his grip on me, it kind of forces us apart.
Okay.
Because
kind of gives you some space.
Yeah, because there's now a mad scramble, bodies shoving in between. It creates a break, him from me.
Okay.
And I can use the 2 advantage to kind of say that that's how that happened. So
no, you're good. The triumph is enough. So your 2 advantage you can use to give yourself a boost for your next check. You can pass a setback to Callus, or you can pass like 2 boosts to Udel for whatever he does next.
Well, I think I'm going to give Callus a setback.
Okay.
And give Udel a boost.
Okay, that works. Cool. Let me go ahead and put that setback in front of me so I don't forget it. Your despair. Somebody who is rushing for the credits is wearing a lot of like kind of sharp jewelry around their body, shoulder pads, like bracelets, like all kinds of stuff with corners and stuff. It catches and rips your dress nearly the entire way down the side.
Okay. So I've kind of got to hold my dress in place if I don't want to be... Yeah.
It's going to significantly slow you down, or you'll be running through the streets of Terrace
half naked.
A la naked.
No, could be worse.
So
are we getting all that on YouTube?
Anyway.
YouTube won't let it happen.
Anyway, so that's fine. I'll kind of make a grab for my dress and keep it on me.
Okay, cool. So that's going to significantly slow you down.
And that's fine.
Like probably half your normal pace.
That works.
Awesome. So you guys are separated now. Udel, what do you want to do in this situation?
Yeah, since I saw him start pulling towards the door, obviously, and then
You
all
already
of a sudden,
said you're walking toward him.
right, I'm walking towards him, and then as that scrum starts to happen, I'm going to shift a little bit more towards the door. My ultimate goal is that I knew Luica came in here with her cryoban, and that something was taken off of her. So the only reason why this would be going on. So I'm going to try and
well, let me have you roll a perception check to see if you really did see, or I'll allow you to spend a light side point to say you saw it happen.
I'll do the perception check.
Okay. Because it was kind of far away. It was pretty. He was trying to be kind of nonchalant and
What would
sly
be my
about it
difficult?
himself. His particular stealth check is going to be 4 purples.
Wow.
Yeah, he's got quite the cunning. Or is stealth is agility in this game, yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, then 3 purples.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That makes life a little easier.
Perception is cunning.
Well, since there are no fails on my dice at all,
Nice. Lots of threat, though.
Not really.
that's all gone. 2 success and 3 advantage.
All right, so you did see him take the weapon off of Luica. Also, when her dress ripped, it probably showed you an empty holster.
That works easier than
I don't know if Udel is distracted or... All right. So then I will be purposely like I'm trying to get to the fray and get the cash, but at the same time I'm going to bump into him and see if I can do a sleight of hand and pull
Okay, I like it.
the weapon from him, because I'm sure he's getting bumped into from many directions.
So let's do. You can either do a skullduggery check, as like you do this in one solid, swift action, or you can have a couple of different checks. And it takes some more time, and he'll have a turn in between you doing stuff.
I think I'll do the skullduggery check.
Okay, cool. So skullduggery against his perception is what you'll be rolling against.
Okay.
And his perception is... you'll be rolling against 2 red, 2 purple.
All right. I would like to upgrade.
flipping that light side point. All right, so we're now at, just in case anybody is like wondering, like your first time listener or something like that, we start with essentially the Genesis core books version of story points. We have a light side point and a dark side point for each player at the table.
Right now you have a stack of dark
And right
side
now
points.
we have 2 light side points and 6 dark side points.
Might need to do that second chances.
I am. So I am going to use my second chances.
Okay.
Well, that wasn't that.
No, it wasn't. That was a double.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So hold on. I am left with a success, a triumph, and a threat.
1 success, 1 triumph, and a threat?
Yep.
Nice. So you do get the gun. The threat, because this was kind of a combined sort of stealth and sleight of hand sort of check, I won't say that he notices you, but I will say...
Oh, he notices me because I would like my triumph to be that he trips.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. But your
So the
threat
scrum knocks him over?
is not that he notices you. Your threat is actually going to be a strain. You're going to take it because as you're kind of trying to move through the scrum, you're having to watch your possessions fairly carefully because it is truly a mad dash to get credits, and they know that you just won a bunch. So yeah, you have to kind of protect yourself a little bit.
Okay.
And so that's going to cause you a strain. But you do successfully get the pistol, and you trip him. He's prone. Callus is prone.
I will extend my hand to help him up. I'm sorry I'm getting thrown around here.
Okay. I'm going to actually have him roll against your deception
Okay.
as part of his action to kind of pick up on that. So what is your deception?
He is... I got 3 ranks and 4 cunning, so he's going to have 3 reds and a purple.
Okay, and I'm going to have him roll his perception against that. And I am going to flip a dark side point to upgrade it. By the way, did you roll your free boost that you had with...
I did during the perception check.
Okay, cool. All right, let's roll his perception to see what you did. He winds up with 1 success and 1 threat. So
Fair enough.
So he sees that you have the cryo pistol in your other hand. You kind of extended one hand to pick him up, and he sees that you're holding the pistol that he just pocketed off of Zerial in your... I guess, what are you reaching out right-handed or left-handed? It doesn't really matter.
Well, I'd obviously be reaching with my left hand because I just used my right hand to
Sure,
pickpocket
you
him.
use your better hand to pickpocket. So he sees in your right hand is the cryo pistol that he had just confiscated off of Zerial's own person. So he notices that you are...
Lucia.
Well, he knows you as Zerial, and we may as well call you your real name. But I guess you prefer Lucia. So when he is referring to you, it'll be Zerial.
Yeah, no, I get that. Just
Yeah. But when other like friendly characters do, it'll be Lucia.
And most of the listeners online know
Yes.
her as Lucia as well. So
Yeah, but I do want them to get used to the fact that you are, in fact, Moff Taniel's daughter.
and that's fine.
We've only kind of lightly mentioned it a couple of times, and I want to really push that home with this despair.
By all means.
Okay, so he is now going to... he is with his... He's going to grab your hand because you're reaching it out, in fact. And he is going to pull you in and try to kind of grapple you down. So it'll be his brawn melee or brawn brawl versus your own. Either you can choose to kind of combat this with either athletics or coordination, whichever one is better for you.
Okay. Can I parry him with...
Because it's not an actual melee attack, no.
All right.
If it was a melee attack, I would say yes.
Does he get any disadvantages because he's prone?
No, because he reached down for him. He's not like trying to grapple up at him. He had already put himself in like a weakened, or Udel, sorry, had put himself in a
What
weakened
you get
position.
for being nice?
Well, he was trying to be deceptive, not nice.
So it's 3 brawn.
Okay, just 3 brawn. No.
Yeah, I don't have any ranks in
no skills?
either or.
Okay. Do you want to spend a light side point to upgrade his difficulty?
No, I'll roll with it.
Okay.
Wow.
Man, you pulled one over on him. He does have a couple of advantages left over, but he fails. So he reaches up to pull at you, and
Psych.
Whoa!
yeah, you do the whole move where you put your hand over your head like you're brushing your hair back.
And then you shoot him with a freeze pistol.
So he does not grapple you to the ground, but he does have a couple of advantages. And I'm going to say that he kind of knocks you off your balance a little bit, so you're going to have 2 setbacks on your next roll.
Okay.
Cool. So Luica, what do you want to do?
In this mad scramble, now that Callus is kind of down, I don't see, like, I know where he is roughly, but I'm sure I don't see him with the mass of bodies kind of in between us now. I'm just making sure I understand the scene.
Yeah. So basically, to his right is where all the credits fell. So kind of to his right, and he's kind of in the scrum a little bit, but obviously not totally. Udel is directly behind him, like kind of from where you are, and you're about 5 to 8 feet away toward the door.
Okay. I'm going to move my way towards the door, not stealthily, because I'm not going to like make a direct action, but I am going to, if I can get out the door, make a skullduggery check to maybe grab a jacket. You know how like people collect jackets and have cigarettes and stuff, just so that way I can throw it on over myself, so that way I'm less worried about the dress slipping off of me.
Okay, sure. So you go to grab a jacket. That's easy enough. On your way out, there's of course a coat rack. Probably more like a coat closet. They don't really have
like a coat droid.
A coat droid. He's literally like a refrigerator. His chest opens up and all the coats are in it.
Well, or
Would you care for a coat, sir?
Yeah,
Very Futurama style.
Well, that, or I was just thinking, he would be the one who kind of checks the weapons, locker guru type.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the locker droid.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're able to get a coat out of that, and you go to open the door, and the door actually kind of slams open as you come in. I'm going to flip a dark side point for this. The troopers are here, and you have now got a rifle in your chest, and he's pushing you back with it.
Okay. At this point,
make a discipline check.
Okay, I will. What difficulty?
It's going to be against 3 purple, and I'm going to spend a dark side point to upgrade that. So essentially, like the feeling should be that the action has just drastically escalated.
I'm also going to upgrade that.
Okay.
I am also going to go ahead and use this is my way out. The droid, the stormtrooper doesn't know, because again, he just got called in. He doesn't know the situation or who I am, so he's just going to think me, because I'm at the door and I'm looking.
Okay.
So I just,
all right, yeah. So he rushes in. Go ahead and use the discipline to be able to react quickly, because things are about to start moving really fast.
Right, exactly. But I want his interjection into the scene to be my way out.
Yes. Yeah. Perfect. I like it.
And we were worried about her. Now we're worried about Udel.
Cocked. Actually, I cannot pass this. Well, I could triumph. No, I don't succeed. But I have 3 advantage.
Okay. You can get an upgrade on your next check if you would like. You just won't kind of go first here.
Yeah.
Basically, I was going to give you kind of a boost on initiative for the chase. So the stormtrooper rushes in. There are 3 of them. The first one kind of pushes you in with the barrel of the gun and shoves you toward the wall with it. And you're just so shocked that all of this is happening so quickly that you're unable to react as quickly as Luica might normally react.
So will that be basically like
So
a setback die on my initiative check?
No.
Okay.
No. I was going to give you a boost because you kind of were ahead of everybody else.
Okay.
But you're just not going to get that boost.
Okay.
So he's going to shove you up against the wall with that rifle. And he's going to shout out, "Nobody leaves. Agent Callus, what can we do for you?" Roll initiative. It's going to be a cool check.
Cool, really?
Yeah.
We knew it was coming.
Yeah, you knew it was coming. You're like present in the thing. You're not watching out for a potential disaster.
Okay. No, that's
You're
fine.
in it.
That's fine by me.
Yep. So now I need to get my Stormtrooper card out.
Well, the dice reflects my state.
I'm pretty cool as a cucumber, actually. So
Yeah, no, you're fine. I'm not.
That was a loud bump. That's fine. All right, and let me roll the cool checks for these guys.
Are you treating those stormtroopers as a group?
Yeah, which means I should roll more dice for their thing.
Shouldn't have mentioned that. Oh well.
All right, so Udel, what did you get for initiative?
2 and 3.
And Lucia?
0-1.
All right, well, Callus gets to go first. But the troopers are going to get a free maneuver leading in. They roll a triumph on their initiative roll. So they kind of fan out to kind of block that entryway. It's about like there's kind of a funnel type of entryway that's about 15 feet wide. They just kind of funnels toward the door. And so they've spread themselves out to kind of make a line between them and the rest of the crowd. Lucia, you're just behind them because that first one shoved you against that wall. And he considers you secure. I mean, you look like a defenseless woman. Mm-hmm. So, all of that being said, Callus looks up and is trying to look around. You can make me a... do you want to try to hide behind this stormtrooper?
More or
Kind of
less.
like you got this coat on, like you're a little bit hidden. So I'll make him roll against your stealth, a perception check to find you.
It's 2 red. Agility of 2, and I've got 2 ranks in it. Would my 2 things, since he's trying to identify or find me, it automatically upgrades again because of indistinguishable, and because I have 2 ranks in Stalker, he gets 2 setbacks. Sorry,
I'll say that again in the microphone.
Sorry. Because I have indistinguishable and he's trying to find me, it automatically upgrades the difficulty by 1, and then because I have 2 ranks in Stalker, it adds 2 setbacks.
Wow. Okay.
Because it says all stealth checks, I get 2 boosts. So since this is against my stealth, those would count against him.
Okay.
Do you want to upgrade his check? Because we got some light side points.
Technically not, because it doesn't say like during all stealth checks you get a boost, or if someone's trying to perceive you, you get a
add boost per rank of Stalker to all stealth and coordination checks.
Sure. But you're not actually making a check. He's rolling against your natural stealth, so you're not like actively trying to stalk.
Okay, that's fine.
That's how I'll kind of rule that.
That's fine. I'm just letting you know where all the dice could be coming from. But you are okay with indistinguishable, though,
Absolutely,
right?
yes. And do you want to spend a light side point to upgrade
Sure.
again? And I will let you kind of retroactively decide to, if you would like, upgrade it again with your 3 advantage that you just had.
Sure.
Instead of upgrading your own check.
Okay, that works.
It's a lot of dice, man. It's a lot of big dice.
Not a lot of failed dice, though.
But he didn't get a lot of successes either.
Nope, he actually only got 1 advantage. So he does not spot you. He doesn't know where you are. He's kind of frantically looking around the room. He's looking for the bright... I'm assuming it was a red dress?
Black.
Black dress, okay. So he's kind of looking around trying to spot this this gorgeous dress that you bought to be a distraction in this casino. And he's not seeing it, and he just kind of glances over the blob of coat sitting on the ground.
kind of
So-
half concealed behind a stormtrooper anyway. So
Yeah, because the stormtrooper's trying to make himself big anyway.
and
It
I'm
kinda
not
covers
exactly
you up.
tall either.
Right. Yeah, you're a fairly small individual. So he glances right over you and yells, Where did she go? And he kind of looks at the stormtrooper sergeant. He says, Where'd who go?
Okay.
And so that'll be his turn, is looking for you. He's frantically looking around the room trying to find you, and he is going to run toward the door to look out. So on his next turn, he'll get another chance to try to spot you. But next is going to be a player turn. Which one of you guys wants to go? Yeah, so he did leave you behind, Udel. He's more concerned with capturing Luica than he is with whatever you were doing to him. If you have the cryo gun, she still doesn't have the cryo gun.
Right.
Yeah, it would make sense for you to go. Honestly,
I got to get past stormtroopers, but
Yeah, I was
no.
thinking it makes sense for you to get the dial out of dodge.
Well,
Go.
He's
take your turn.
Well, he's maneuver. You said he's maneuvered to the door, or
Yes.
did?
Yeah,
but
they're
he-
gonna
but-
chase
Well,
you.
but he was
He won't have to
prone. So
worry
did
about
did he spend his maneuver to get up?
Yes.
Okay, so he has not made his way to the door yet. Then.
Well, he spent the 2 strain as well.
Okay,
He moved toward the door.
making sure you.
Don't
and
worry, I'm keeping track of me.
I figured, but you got to let us know these things because otherwise, how do
I
we?
don't have to let you know anything. Turns out I'm in the game master chair.
True enough. I mean, I'm not just gonna fall down.
You might.
I might.
Your strings have been cut.
Maybe. Anyway, so my first reaction then is to kind of cower in the stormtrooper's presence to make him obscure me even more because I heard Callus get up and kind of shout about me. And
Okay, and you see him rush
Yeah.
behind the troopers.
yeah, so I'm just going to try to basically position myself to where he's still obscuring my form. So not like maybe slide against the wall a little bit, kind of do this number and just kind of cower.
He's behind the troopers though, right? So he could just walk down the hall if he wanted to.
Except that now Callus is back there as well.
And one stormtrooper's literally got his rifle right in my chest, like.
Well, not anymore. He
No,
pushed you
no,
against the
that's
wall,
wall.
and now he's
Yeah.
looking out at the crowd.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what the impression I got was that they'd moved
okay,
in
I
front
did-
of you, so you
sorry.
were behind
So
them.
basically what's happened is the stormtroopers heard he needed backup, but he didn't say why. So when they rushed in, they thought this maddened crowd in this scrum for credits is why Callus had called them.
They might
Right.
be attacking him or something.
So they're in like riot control
Control
mode
mode.
instead of capture and detain mode.
Yeah. So, then I'm just gonna let Callus try to blow by me, thinking I'm out on the street, and just use the stormtroopers kind of cover. So
Okay.
I
Yeah,
think
you won't need to really do an action for that necessarily. But yeah. So what? Do you want to move anywhere, or do you want to like hold your turn? Like you can wait until the end of everything of the round to do something.
Well, like I said, I would like to try to obscure myself. I don't know if that would be a stealth roll or not, but if you're just saying narratively that's available to me, then yeah, I'll just hold my turn, and if I need to make an action or reaction, then I will.
Okay, cool. Well, then let's just have you go on that second player turn, which is at the end of the round anyway.
Yeah.
Udel, do you want to do anything at this point?
I'm gonna move just slightly around into the with the crowd to where I'm close enough to the trooper, but I'm not there, and then I'll take my action to kind of pull out my stun stick and kind of keep it concealed.
Okay, I will have you roll a stealth check
All right.
to keep your stun baton concealed. It'll be against their cunning, which is only 2 purple.
Then we're at an even check.
We're also at an even destiny point check.
We are.
It's fine. I'll roll with this.
No, we were way down earlier, so
Nice.
1 success.
All right, 1 success. That's enough to keep it concealed. Cool. Next up is going to be the troopers, who are going to begin trying to break up this riot. So I am going to have them roll athletics against essentially the crowd to try to get the crowd to calm down. But the crowd is kind of frenzied, and there are several of them.
I'm assuming this scrum has spilled over onto the tables too, because I'm sure even with the pit bosses and has
Not
it
really, because the credits were all in the floor.
okay. So it hasn't
And there weren't like a ton of people in here. This is an underground gambling ring.
right.
But there are enough of them to pose some difficulty. So they're going to be rolling against 2 reds because there are 3 of them. They've got 2 yellow and 1 green. Do you guys want to spend any destiny points to make their check more difficult?
Not for a crowd.
No, not for the crowd.
Okay. They did roll a despair, though.
And a bunch of fail.
And they failed.
They were unsuccessful. That is great.
They were, but they got 3 advantages, which I'm going to actually pass to Callus for his next check. And their despair is going to be that because these people were just picking up credits, they weren't actually rioting or violent in any shape or fashion. They react very poorly to the stormtroopers doing this. They begin to actually fight the stormtroopers to the point where one of them gets shot by a blaster rifle, and this has now become an official like crime scene sort of combat zone.
My work here is done. No.
Actually, my triumph's work here is done.
Yes, so and that's a despair for the troopers because it makes this entire situation worse kind of for everybody here, but especially for the like Galactic Empire's presence on Terrace. Like it's going to look very bad because they shot a civilian while they were gambling, which is not necessarily an illegal action here.
Mm-hmm.
This is just an expensive, exclusive underground club.
Okay.
Next up is going to be the last player turn. Luica, I believe that's you.
Okay. So Callus has already gone by me, correct? Just to reiterate, or is he at the door?
I think now that the shots have been fired, he's looking back and kind of berating the stormtroopers. Like, what are you doing? Why are you even paying any attention to that crowd? There's no reason to even acknowledge them. Why do you think you're here? And so he's just kind of over and over and over again berating the troopers for doing what they're doing.
I'm going to try to slip out the door then.
Bingo. Stealth it. He is going to be... You're going to be rolling against his perception,
Yep.
Which you've already established is 2 red, 2 purple.
Yep. I'm going to upgrade.
Of course.
And I get 2 of these. Indistinguishable won't work here because, again, he's not trying to make me. I'm trying to get out. But I do get my 2 ranks of Stalker, correct?
Yeah, I would say Stalker definitely applies here.
Okay. So I think the dice pool is square.
Yeah, looks good to me.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? Let me go ahead and I'll give you a boost for the distraction.
Okay.
You can take a free upgrade for that despair. I'll give you that kind of mechanical benefit.
Okay. So
for
a free upgrade?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because you've completely moved Callus's attention, or they did with that despair.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. I want you to succeed, believe
Oh,
me.
I know. I know.
You're giving every opportunity, you know? Uh-oh.
No, I succeed.
Oh, good.
I succeed wildly. I have a lot of threat, but I succeed wildly. So that goes away. And
Your jacket rips, and now the other side is exposed.
You're holding your dress on one side, your jacket on the other.
There's a lot of side boob going on.
well, I mean,
Look at that. That's
So-
my side.
I triumph, 3 success, 3 threat.
Triumph, 3 success, 3 threat.
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to pass an upgrade to the difficulty of Udel's next check.
Okay.
Because once again, Udel got himself into a situation with another character, and he's about to get pooped on a little bit.
And he's the one with all the credits.
He is, but
he is, yeah.
But that's okay because I used my way out and I got out. And my triumph is and I want to have enough of a head start because I did say I've used my way out here.
Yes.
So I want Callus to just catch me out of the corner of his eye and him to start a chase scene with me, but I lose him in the streets. So because I'm already running up the tunnel to get out, I can get out before he even catches up, if that's acceptable to you.
Okay, so narratively, he sees you exiting, he runs out, and sees you keep running. So basically, like, your triumph is that he knows that you're gone.
Correct.
Okay, I like it. That's a good use. That's an interesting and good use of a triumph. I like it. I'm a fan. Yeah, so you rush out, and he sees you. He runs toward the door and chases you down the street for just a moment. You dart down an alleyway. He gets on his comm and demands for his troopers to follow him, and he gets to the same alley that you turned down, and once he turns down it, you are gone. He cannot see you, can't find you. He searches that entire alley, can't see any sign that you were ever there.
So the 3 troopers just left.
The 3 troopers, yeah, everybody's gone. You are
Running out the back door.
You are running out the back door.
Boom, 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 running out the back door.
All right, cool. So Luica and Udel are safe. Where do you guys kind of regroup at? Do you regroup back at home base, or do you regroup before then?
Before
and
then,
head back?
at Hans's casino. That's kind of where we said we would meet up before, just incidentally.
Okay, do you want to go inside or meet at the steps?
We would have met like around back because that's where
Okay.
we ran into Callus before. So we're just gonna because we worked with Hans before. We know the staff. We can probably get in through one of the side or back doors without
Okay,
making.
and do you change out of your disguises?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay, cool. So you're back to being Luica.
They're looking
and
for a
Udel.
Duro. I want to be
You're
in
no
a
longer you're no longer Rodney and Rebecca.
Although I haven't been able to change the hair yet.
Yeah, sure. You're still blonde.
Blonde.
Which may stick around for at least this arc.
Right, but
I take his head, dump it in some mud. No, it's just...
You want to be brown headed?
ooh. Anyway, but I walk up to Udel. That was way too close.
Used to it by now.
I mean, yeah, but I haven't seen Callus in 10 years. Over 10 years.
Well, I wonder what he's doing on this planet then at this point.
Well, he's a lieutenant. His dad is a lieutenant to my father. And at this point, I tell... Udel may have heard a little bit, but I'm giving him the full story here. Just him and I. And
Sure. So you can, Luica, you can roll a knowledge warfare check, which I know you probably don't have ranks in, but you can take a boost to the check. It's just 2 purple.
Okay.
So it'll most likely be just your intellect plus a boost.
It will be. I do have knowledge underworld, though. I don't know.
That won't help you.
Yeah.
You're basically, I'm having you like recognize Antonio Callus's like rank and such, and like his branch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, I spent enough time. He may have gotten some promotions since, but I did know of him, so. I mean, hell, I
you
knew him.
recognized his like face and demeanor and like those kind of things. You recognize. You probably went to school at some point with the guy, but like as far as his military career and record.
I fail, but I have what one would consider a butt ton of advantage, 3 advantage.
Okay, I will say for that advantage, you don't recognize like his rank or station or anything like that, but you know he's not a part of the Imperial Navy. You recognize the colors of the ISB, as opposed to actual Galactic Navy.
Right. So I don't know what the ISB is. I just know he's not true Navy. It's how we'll explain that.
That is probably actually true.
Because if anybody knows the ISB, they usually aren't around.
Yeah.
Let's just throw that out there.
Yeah.
Right away.
So during the story and during the information that he's sharing, or that she's sharing, I'll take Udel will take out the cryoband pistol and say, "Here, I think you dropped this."
And I nod to him appreciatively, like, "Thanks a lot," and I put it back into.
It cost me a lot of the credits that the GM gave me.
Well, I mean, I did just drop 500 and not even lose sleep about it.
That's true.
And I thought that was an excellent use of 500 credits, honestly.
What a bribe.
Oh, it almost got much worse. If that scene was going to play out much longer, there'd have probably been another grand sitting on the ground.
I was wondering about that myself.
Anyway, so after that, I'm like, we should probably pay back Hans and get on our way and get out of Dodge.
Hans didn't want money. He wanted favors.
Yes, that's true.
I understand, but still, we should let him know the situation as it stands. He should be at least aware.
So if you go into the casino, you don't find Hans anywhere.
Okay.
In here at all.
Well, then I would ask that we just leave a message for him with one of his trusted aides. I mean, we've been working 2 years with the guy, so we should know his staff and at least
easy enough.
That's all I ask for, is that way he's at least aware.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I don't know how detailed of a message you'll want to leave. You'll probably want to leave more of like a get in touch.
Yeah, no.
This is Zuriel Daniel. I would like to.
No, but at least...
Hi, Hans. This is the rebellion.
No, but at least he's, be on the lookout for Callus is basically what the message will read.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Look out for Callus.
Hi, Hans. What's up?
Remember the fugitives that you've been helping? Here's the thank you note from us.
Hope the Empire doesn't find out.
X's and O's.
XOXO rebellion.
Yeah, we hope they don't look at your security tapes as we keep wandering around here.
Bail Organa.
Yeah. Look,
Love Mon Mothma. All right, cool. So where do you guys go from there?
Back to base as best we
cool.
can. As best we can.
So as you guys leave Hans's casino, we're going to screen wipe to Keklik. Keklik, go ahead and roll me a discipline check for your meditation.
Oh, that's right. I was meditating.
The difficulty to reach out in the Force and kind of reconnect to the vision that you had is going to be 2 reds.
Ouch. Well, I did pretty well. I got a triumph, a success, and 1 threat.
Wow. So that'll be really 2 successes.
2
with the triumph.
successes and a triumph.
Wow. Yeah. So do you mind if I give you your triumph?
I wouldn't know how else to play it, honestly. I'm meditating.
So you're meditating and just kind of considering the Force through the halls of this cavern maze that you guys have made your kind of home in, and you're just kind of thinking about the last basically 2 years and the road that has led you guys to living where you're living and the things that you're doing, and maybe even kind of asking Belisha, like, why are we still on Terrace? Do you even need us here? Should we be here? Is balance really important enough for us? The kind of things that I imagine Keklik would be asking.
All my training and
like you're
studying.
asking on your training, asking about balance. How do we bring balance to this place that seems so imbalanced? And those are kind of the focus of your meditations. And in the midst of that, you do kind of feel a tug. And you follow it, but you kind of look back and you can see like you're experiencing some sort of out of body vision, where you're walking through the tunnels of the cave, but your body is still meditating back in your room, and you just feel the pull toward what has become the sort of makeshift medical lab of the area, which is also your Callist's research lab. And so you can see him as you walk into the room, working on the artifact, the Rakatan artifact, the crystal that you guys had found before. Only this time he's not connected to all these tubes and wires. The whole situation seems to be much more contained over the last 2 years. You guys have learned a couple of the ways that this thing gets activated, and you've learned to avoid those things. There was at one point a near fatality when somebody walked past the room as it was rage activated and they went on a rampage, but thankfully nobody was permanently or fatally injured in that event, and they were able to be calmed down. But you walk into this room and Callista's working on the artifact, and you see it pulsing. Where normally it is a kind of grayed crystal, translucent. You can see some like brown, like amber colored veins usually running through it, like some sort of mineral that you imagine is encased inside of this crystal. You see it pulsing, and those veins are glowing yellow. And it's pulsing. It pulses like green, blue, red, green, blue, red, just repeatedly, kind of almost like the crystal itself has some sort of heartbeat. And you wander through the room and you examine this crystal alongside Callista, and of course he can't see you, feel you, hear you, or anything like that, but you can see and hear him as he's monitoring, and you hear him muttering, was like, "This is fascinating, incredible what the Rakatans were able to do And he's been you've heard those kind of phrases from him for the last 2 years as he examined this thing, and he's still trying to kind of crack the code. And you are watching him do this, and you see out of the corner of your eye one of these creatures come through the door of this cave. And suddenly the cave doesn't look like the cave. It looks like one of the kind of mechanical lab rooms that you were in underneath it. In kind of the expanse of this kind of undercity that you guys have been gradually exploring. The creature walks in with the big eyes and the sharp teeth, and you know how we had described it before. I don't actually know if those were features that I described before.
It actually was.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Good
very
job.
Alien,
That's what I thought.
Very
alien looking. It walks in and it picks up the crystal, but obviously it doesn't pick it up from Callis. This is now at this point a vision of the crystal. It picks up the crystal and it has a lens. This lens is encircled by a metal ring. It's got some sort of transparent, it's not glass, but it's something on it, and it's got several wires kind of coming off of this metal ring and 2 handles, one on each side. And he kind of takes the crystal and he sets it on a pedestal, and he takes this lens and sets it over it and twists the 2 rods on the side, and then points it toward what you assume is another person. You can't see this other person, but the crystal stops pulsing and gathers a specific colored energy, in this case red, and magnifies it through this lens toward the other person. And at that point, the vision cuts off, and you're just kind of in the room with Callis as he examines the artifact.
Still meditating.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
You're still out of body, but there's nothing really to add to the vision. It's just kind of like,
That's what I saw.
if you wanted to explore, go in the girls' locker room, whatever you want to do in your meditative state, you're free to do that. If there's a conversation you maybe want to listen in on or something, there are any number of things you could do in this sort of a state. But you are in a complete meditative with your triumph, like you're good.
Okay. So since the vision was down below, can I go down to that chamber that I saw, or is that going to be too much?
You'll be able to get a certain distance, but when you get far enough away from your body, it's going to snap you out of it.
Okay. How close can I actually get to the crystal he's working on?
You can basically touch it. I mean, you can't
Do
pick
I
it up.
feel anything?
I'll
And as it
say
shifts
yes,
to
you're
the different
feeling
colors, do I
these-
feel anything as the colors shift?
Yes. Yeah. You do. You feel kind of a bubbling rage as the red appears.
Gotcha.
You feel the peace as the green appears, and you feel kind of sleepy as the blue appears. And so just as it cycles through, and you have to really focus to get those feelings, and you can tell, like, when you're not focusing, it just kind of feels normal, because it's just kind of cycling through 3 very normal things that people feel.
Okay. Now, if I focus on the device I pictured in my head, okay, that I saw him, I'm going to reach out with my senses with that image in mind.
Very interesting. Let's roll another discipline check.
So-
Same check. 2 reds again.
So his threat from earlier is
reds.
just strain,
One
because he had 1 threat earlier, right?
Yeah, I'll handle it in a second.
Okay.
one success, one advantage.
2 reds, not 2 purples.
Oh. Wow. Okay. Knock that over. So 1 success, 1 advantage.
Okay, great. So you kind of concentrate on the image of that thing, and you can't sense it because it is just like an object, right? But you can. I'll say this, because you succeeded in the check to kind of feel out, you do feel a similar presence emanating from below in several different locations.
But I don't know where they are. But I just
You don't know exactly where they are, but
Gotcha.
you do feel that there is more than this one crystal. You don't know that they're all the same thing or anything like that, but you know that there are more things that manipulate force energy than just this one crystal here on Terrace.
Gotcha. Okay.
that's the kind of information that you're able to get. And so you wander around for a little bit in this meditative state, wandering at people, and eventually you go back to your body. And about that time is when Udel and Luica are returning back.
I'm gonna wander over near what was his name, Dritz?
Who? The
Darrett.
Darrett? Yeah.
Darrett. Chewbacca.
I'm trying to whisper Wookiee names in his ear.
I'm just kidding.
It doesn't really work. Like I said, they can't hear you.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm gonna reach out with the Force and make him feel like there's a Wookiee here. All right, cool. So you head back to your room and re-enter your body, and as you get up to start wandering around, that's when Luica and Udel return from their trip.
So wait, I see him come in.
Yeah, you see them walking down the hallway.
I see you are back, Luica. That's an interesting apparel you are wearing. Is this a new fashion that I should know about, or not know about, for that matter?
Oh, you mean the hair? Oh, no, it's just I felt like looking pretty tonight. On a different note,
Now he's talking about the dress, sweet tits.
Oh, she changed though.
yeah,
She changed.
I didn't realize that at first when I said that, but
Yeah.
you were
But-
right. That's what I was talking about.
But as a Verpine, the hair color change would be almost like a wardrobe shift to you.
True.
You wouldn't have mechanically, you wouldn't have known
Because
what
we don't
else
really
to
wear clothes, yeah.
Well, and you don't really dye hair and have to deal with that. So I picked up on what you were putting down. That's
Yeah.
why I was like,
it's cool.
it's a cool scene. I'll
Yeah.
run with it. And then he had to scruff it up.
Then I'll cough.
He was right though.
I'll cough.
Yeah.
I'll cough and go. Oh, sorry, I got to get out of that voice.
So anyway,
I'll give Udel the hard cold stare, like, come on, dude. That just give him the money because we've got to go find a ship.
so we
Yeah, which Lugnug is not here right now. He's doing his own thing.
Right, and that's why I look.
so we are getting a ship.
Well,
We got the money.
I say, I reached out to one of my contacts. He said I had to have 15 grand up front. Luckily, Udel and I did a decent job tonight at one of the gambling houses. Udel, if you don't mind, I mean, you can take a little off the top, but we'll need at least probably 17 or 18 of that to make sure we've got enough for everything.
Oh, I've got it. So all we got to do is get there.
All right.
All right.
So-
do you guys pick up?
And given you and me's profile right now, I think we just kind of need to stick together.
I don't disagree with that. I'm just worried about this, and I kind of point back to my hair. But at least I
you can get some kind of head covering, bandana or something.
Yeah, so I go around. I find maybe someone's what's that called? The Ushaka.
Darrett's got something. Don't worry.
Get a Jedi robe.
Darrett's got the wardrobe shifts that you need. He's the doctor / fashionista of Lugnug's camp.
I just picture Darrett with an Ushaka, so I've got like the fur ears over my ears.
And no matter where
Now
we go,
I'm going to picture him that way too.
no matter where we go, I think we're going to need a little protection with us.
You're probably not wrong, but my contact is a little spooked right now. A Verpine showing up, I think he'll understand. That's an engineer. I mean, even here we recognize their engineering capabilities.
Well, you guys would have talked about, like, in the planning phase, you'd have talked about, we don't really have anywhere to land. To leave your only soldier here would be a big mistake.
Agreed, but in the planning we didn't talk about who all would be going. So
Sure.
I'm just role playing that out too.
Okay.
But
Okay.
that's fine. If
Well, you did, because Cal was at that meeting.
yeah, no,
It was assumed that the four of you guys were going.
that's fine. I assumed it was just going to be Click and I, so that's where the
Y'all need all the help and guns and stuff that you can get.
So
We need guns, more guns, bigger guns.
so
all the guns.
at this
I
point,
have guns that I don't use.
at this point, I tell the group as soon as we
Cal.
Cal, as soon as we find Cal, basically we've got to wait till
Lieutenant Tame, if you will.
Tame?
Yeah, it's Cal Tame.
Cal Tame.
Cal Tame.
That sounds like a drink.
Well, you just released half of his backstory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll just let everybody know that my contact said meet him in the early morning hours. Let's get a couple hours of shut eye because I'm assuming it's still kind of early-ish night.
Yeah. You guys get in after dark, but
Yeah, it's
still time to get some sleep before you need to meet George.
So what? It's like 10-ish, 10:30-ish.
Yeah, however time works on Terrace.
Right, but roughly to equate to player.
Sure.
So
Yes.
and just say we need to meet near the south entrance at about probably 3 in the morning.
Okay.
So I go off to my room and
Cal was there for none of this, by the way. Cal has been in his room the whole time, so someone's gonna have to get Cal in the morning.
well, I said we go find you, and I just let you.
Okay. How many tools will I be able to find in this area, and different things like that, and perhaps maybe we can. 4. I got to rebuild this ship.
Well, remember,
and I want to
he said it's got everything it needs.
Well, I understand, but I want to put stuff in my utility so that I can work on these things when I need to.
There won't be much here in the caverns, which is why your utility belt's kind of empty right now.
Right.
You would be allowed to have access to the tools if you had them, but there will be some on the ship. Like you said, not only are all the like supplies there, like parts, but like tools to put them on, like everything you need.
You're going to be at a junkyard. I'm sure, even if you needed like something just quick and easy, you could run out, grab it, and get it.
Yeah, we could purchase some of that stuff too, possibly.
But I think you're overthinking that just a little bit because, like we said, everything would be available.
Have what I need.
Yeah,
so now's an opportunity.
Sure. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I think the utility belt talent lets you
have anything.
You get to have one thing. You get to once per session. You get a thing. As if you spend a destiny point. You don't spend a destiny point to get it.
No, you have to spend a destiny point.
Are you sure?
Yes.
And
we'll look it up in a second. Let's finish this
Gadgeteer,
hour.
Because it's anything up to and including a minor weapon.
Right.
Mechanic does.
Does it really?
Yeah.
All right, real quick, let's finish the hour and then we can talk about that.
Gotcha.
Cool. So you guys make this plan and you gather all of your things. Cal, you had like crates of medical supplies and things like that you were going to take. I'm sure everything fits in like 2 or 3 backpacks that you guys can take with you, not like full crates or anything like that. So you guys move out with all of that stuff and you show up to George's junkyard. George's junking stuff. Yes. So you go to George's and he's kind of waiting for you. It's kind of chilly, so he's got a coat on, and he greets you at the south entrance to his junkyard, and he says, well, Luki, I wasn't able to get exactly what you wanted. I know you wanted another 1430, and I got one, but it's got some crazy mods on it. Seriously, you'll want to look at that when you got some more money. Right now, what I can give you is this old Legate-class courier. That's all I got that I can let go for that kind of price, but it should get you where you need to go.
Well, can we take a look around the yard, or do we need to show cash up front?
I mean, you feel free to take a look around the yard, but for the cash that you brought, this is going to be the only thing I can sell you. Like I said, I haven't had much business. There's not a lot of stuff going on here.
Is she space worthy?
Aye, yeah, she is. I don't know why I moved into Captain Jack Sparrow there for a minute. But
She is.
I
shall make the trip.
She will.
Captain.
Anyway, so I tell George, well,
yeah, she'll make the trip wherever you need to go. She's got 2 front-mounted laser cannons, so you got some firepower if you get yourself into a scuffle. I can only imagine you guys are gonna. Please don't tell me your names. I already know Luica, and I regret that. But I imagine you guys.
Udel's laughing.
I imagine you guys are about to get in some sort of trouble with our boss man up there in the big ship. So keep my name out of it if you can, and please don't come back unless it's safe.
Yes, we do.
However, I will say this, Luica, because I couldn't get the ship you wanted, I will give it to you for 13,000.
Oh, that's actually really generous of you. We made a deal. I tend to try to stick to my deals. Let's call it a character flaw, if you will. And I count out the 15 grand and like, here for your kids. All 8 of them.
Boy, George 2, 3, and 4 are gonna love this.
At this very moment, Udel is looking over at Lucia like, that's not how this works.
The number of kids should increase every single time.
We got 14 kids who multiply like rabbits.
He has
in my
litter.
house.
I have a litter of kids.
Make it like the best con known.
The dude
So-
from Total Recall.
So he takes he takes 13 and he gives you back 2 and says, "Lucia, you know I can't be seen with you right now." And he kind of opens his hand and you see that he's got a pin with the 3 swords on it.
Mhm.
But I believe in what you guys are doing. If your cause needs anything, he puts it back in his pocket. Don't hesitate to call me. Just make sure I don't get caught.
Well, George, I think you understand as well as I do. We've got a long road ahead of us. I don't want to lose a friend like you. You've been around me long enough. You helped out with the swamp rats. You've helped me out through many scrape and scuffle. I mean, hell, I spent a week at your house just pretending I was one of your fix-it people. I mean, how do you think I got and kind of show the pit coveralls that I've got?
Oh,
Like, that's where I scrounged them from. So,
yeah. Great times there, Lucia. Anyway, stay safe.
you too, George. You
Don't
too.
die. We'll see you around.
Always.
That's where we'll end our session. Thanks so much for listening. And well, that didn't work. Whoever we are.
This has been Urban Stars. Thanks for listening. Have a great night.
Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
You should hear how it started.
Keep on adventuring.